All right, we're back. Okay, let's try this again. Technical difficulties. All right, hopefully this is better. I think I was talking about the second session. The second session that we did last week, we talked about troubleshooting, and we went over some common problems that happen when you wear hearing aids, and we went over some very easy solutions that you can do at home. So if that's something you're interested in, you might want to look at last week's. And then this week, what I'm actually going to do is, again, based on what our Telesupport team, the feedback that they're giving me, there's a lot of people that are asking questions or emailing us questions that are available on our website. So the answers are there. There's tons of resources, and there is a lot of really good videos too. So what we thought we would do is do a walkthrough of how you access that website and how you would search for things if you had a question. So that's what I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing right now, which is why we needed to have multiple screens open and why we're having technical difficulties, but we'll get through it. And then I'll go over some of the things that Telesupport have said that they continue to get inquiries about. I've touched on it in the previous sessions, but I think it's probably good just to review it again. So that's what we're going to do. And then we'll wrap up with just a summary and then some Q&A like we always do. So let's get started by going through our Telesupport website, and I'll show you like a live walkthrough, and I'll show you how to use it. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Get rid of all these windows that you don't need to see. And the only one I really want to show you is this one right here. So you should still be able to see me in this little top and right-hand corner. And I'll show you basically how to work this website. So below on Facebook Live, there should be the Telesupport website. So you type that in, which is telesupport.hearingaidhelp.ca, and you're going to come up to this screen. This is the opening screen, and it says, what would you like help with? Which is great. So if you want, you can just start typing something in, and we'll do that in a second, but I'm going to scroll down just so I can show you that if you are not sure or you want some suggestions, there's tons. So hearing aid maintenance, there's a bunch there. Hearing aid use, if you just keep scrolling down, you're going to see a bunch of different categories of lots of things that you can find information on. Most of these, when you click them, let's click one and see. So let's click this one here. So I clicked on how to clean a receiver in the ear hearing aid, which is one of these guys. So if you wanted to know how to clean that, you would click on that. And the first thing you're always going to get is some instructions. So you're going to read the instructions if that's the way you like to learn. You just read through the instructions and follow the instructions. Then you're going to start getting some pictures usually. So they'll give you some visual resources, show you how to change your dome, show you how to change your wax filter. And then if you scroll down to the very bottom, you normally get a video, which is even better. So if you were to click on the video, then you can watch somebody do it, which is great, because if you're not exactly sure what you need to be doing, then you can just watch the video. So this video goes over basically how to clean this. They're showing you to use the cloth, wipe it down, everything that's in the instructions above, they're just going to show you in this video. And that's how a lot of these resources work. So it's really great. And I think if you get on here and you just sort of explore, you'll find that there are a ton of really good resources right here for you in the comfort of your own home. And you can get an immediate answer. Not that we don't want to we're not here to help you. We are here to help you. But you can do this whenever you want. And maybe that you just want to learn a little bit more about other things and you've got some time right now. So you can search up anything you want, which is great. So let's just show you what happens if you start typing something. So say I'm looking for how to change a battery. So I start to type that, and the nice thing about it is a bunch of suggestions pop up. So this website is smart enough to know or guess what it thinks I want to find. So that's great. So a bunch of these options are going to show up, and then you might find exactly what you're looking for. So how to change a battery, and how it works is the ones that on the top here, they match the best. And then as you scroll down, there might be a word that matches, but it may not be exactly what you were looking for. So your chances of usually it's this first one here that's probably going to be closest to what you were looking for. So that happens every time you start typing. It will give you a suggestion of what it thinks you're looking for. So that's great too. So if you wanted to know how to change a battery, and then you just look for the type of hearing aid. So say you were trying to figure out how to change a battery in an in-the-ear hearing aid, you could click on that one. And then what comes up is, again, some instructions, which is great. So you've got these instructions, and then yay, you've got a video. So you can watch it as well, which is lovely. So I'm going to give you an example next of what happens when you type something in and you don't get an exact match. So say I want to find out, how do I use the drying cup? And if you remember, the drying cup is this guy here, what you're supposed to use to store your hearing aids in. So as you can see, not the exact match showed up. We have two suggestions that are maybe helpful, maybe not, but I'm going to pick the top one because, again, that one is usually closest to what I want. And let's just see what happens. So it's telling me that I should go to how to maintain your hearing aids daily. So when I do that, this is what pops up. So you get some instructions, which is great. And if you look at number 3 in the instructions, the reason why it gave me this suggestion to read is because number 3 talks about where I should store my hearing aids at night, and it's mentioning the drying cup. So that's why this one would be relevant to what I was searching. So even if you can't find an exact match to what you were looking for, you're probably going to get pretty close, which is great. So that is how you would search something up, how you would type something in, or how you would access the suggested articles that are below. Now, I just want to go over how you would get in touch with Telesupport if what you were looking for you just could not find with these sample articles and videos, and you needed a little extra assistance. So if you come down here, you're going to see Ask a Hearing Aid Specialist, and then you have a couple options. You have call or email us, and then you have live sessions available. So I'm just going to go over the order in which you should, if you have an inquiry right now with our clinics being closed, the order in which you should go when you're looking for an answer. So step 1, or the first thing you should do, is come to this website, because honestly, I think you're probably going to find the answer here. And with those videos, it's really, really helpful. And I think you'll probably be able to figure out and solve the solution on your own. Number 2, if that doesn't work, then I would say email us. And so if you come to this, call or email us, then this is the address, our email address, and you can use that and you can email your question to us. Currently, we have about a 4 to 5 day turnaround time for someone to get back to you. And that's because we are Canada-wide and we have over 250 clinics. So we have thousands and thousands of clients that we're servicing through Telesupport right now. So that team is doing their absolute best to get through these inquiries and trying to get back to you as fast as they possibly can. But I was told yesterday that it's about a 4 to 5 business day turnaround time for someone to answer your question via email. The third way you would contact us, if those two don't work, is you would call us. So you would call the Telesupport, and the phone number you should be able to see on the screen right here. You can call that number and someone will help you over the phone. And the last way that you can access help, if all else has failed and you just need a live person who you can see, then you would go to a live session. So we can schedule a video chat, kind of like what I'm doing right now, except you'd be on the other end. And it's kind of like FaceTime if you have an iPhone. It's pretty much what everybody's doing right now. Everybody's FaceTiming or Skyping or Zooming or using all of these platforms to stay connected with people. So it's essentially what we would be doing as well. So you could always do that. And the first thing you have to do is you have to select the type of event. So you're either going to select that you need help with an accessory, or you're going to select that you need help with a hearing aid. So if you just select one, then it's going to take you to, it's going to ask you about your time zone and where you live. It's going to ask you to pick a day. So we'll just pick this, 3:30. So you can pick a date and time. And then it's going to ask you for some information. So it's going to ask you for your name, for your email, your phone number, and it's going to ask you if you're currently under warranty. So if you are one of our clients and your hearing aids are still under warranty, it's going to ask you to select that. So really you just need to pick an option here. Are you under warranty? Are you not? Or are you not sure? Then you're going to describe at the bottom with the star, you're going to describe your difficulty. So you're just going to type in what the problem is. If it's, I need help with changing my wax guard, or I think my hearing aid is broke, I need help with troubleshooting, something like that. Just a brief description of what type of help you're looking for. And then you're going to hit the done. So once you do all of that, you're going to get a confirmation email that a live session has been scheduled, and you'll get instructions on what you do next. So how do you start that live session? So that is the sort of fourth way that you can receive service from us right now. This is probably a good time to tell you all that we are not going to be closed for very much longer. So we we are happy to announce that we are going to be opening up some clinics very, very, very soon. So if you are in need of assistance, and this assistance needs to come from the clinic, your wait is going to be over very, very shortly. We will publish or provide a list of clinics that we're going to be opening across Canada. We are doing a very gradual, phased opening, just like the rest of the country seems to be doing. So we'll have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 1 is a select number of clinics around the country that will be able to service clients, and we will give you that list very shortly. But it is coming very soon, and we hope to have all of our clinics open sooner rather than later. But I just thought I'd give you that little tidbit of information in case you were wondering, when are we actually going to be opening up our doors? Pretty soon. Okay, so I'm going to close up this screen now because we're all done with the live walkthrough. Okay, so we'll move on, and we'll go to the next topic, which seems to be really, we're still getting a lot of inquiries about it. So I'm going to go over it again. I think I have talked about it in the other 2 sessions, but that's okay. We'll do it again. Lots of people calling in or emailing or asking about their domes. And so if this is the type of hearing aid that you would be wearing if you wear a dome. So if this isn't you, maybe now's a good time to go get a coffee or take a break, because if you don't wear a hearing aid that looks like this and you don't have domes, then this won't pertain to you at all. And so what we'll just let those people go take a break. Come back and see me in a little bit when I'm done this topic. So the dome. This little guy right here at the very, very end, this little rubber piece that does have to be changed. regularly, I want to say something about that because we've had people calling, asking if they should be changing these every day or if they should be changing them, every couple of days. No, that's way too often. You want to change them, and I can't give you a like you must change them every 5 days because everybody is different. So I can't give you a like this one works for everyone. But what I can say is this: if you if the dome starts to get brittle, so it's supposed to be here. Here's one that's already off. This is a different style, but it's the same sort of thing. If you can, if it's nice and soft and flexible, yeah, it's not discolored, it's really, sort of pliable, that's great. That's what you want it to be like. Over time, as you wear it, it's gonna change. It's gonna get discolored a little bit, and it's gonna get a little bit more brittle. When that happens, change your dome. If that doesn't happen, don't change it. You can also take these off and wash them. So I have shown you before how to take these off. Very, very easy. You just literally pull it off. And because there's no electronic components in this, you can't hurt it. So you're just going to use warm water and soap, and you're going to wash it. Very easy. Then leave it to dry, make sure it's fully dry, and then you're just going to put it back on. And that really helps, sort of save you from going through these very quickly because you can absolutely wash it and put it back on, and it's going to function perfectly, no problem. So people who have a lot of wax or a lot of moisture might find that they go through these more quickly, and that's okay too. If that's you, if you find they get brittle, if you find that you can't really clean them the way you want to, even when you do wash them, they're like discolored a little bit, which happens, no big deal, then you're going to want to change it a little bit more frequently. But for the average person, like once a month is just fine because you can do the other things that I've just said to help. So if you have like a pack of these at home, you don't need to order anymore. Like you're good. You're going to be able to use this pack and you're going to be fine. You're not going to run out. You don't need to order anymore. And right now, because many people are ordering supplies, you're going to have to wait longer to get them than it would be. It's so easy just to pick them up from the clinic once we're open. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're not in dire need or completely out of your wax or your domes, you probably don't need more. You'll have enough to get you by for like another month or so if you even just have one or two laying around, which is great. If you do need to order more and you have no idea the size of the dome that you need, which is what we're getting a lot of inquiries about, so that's what I wanted to help with. I'm going to show you and go over it. It is actually kind of confusing because I was figuring it out and there's over 25 different sizes of domes. So it's not like, oh, it can be one of 3. No, it could be one of 25. So there is a lot, but there's an easy way to figure it out. So don't worry, I'm going to help you. So if you have to, it would be lovely if you could find your user manual for that type of hearing aid. Again, this is only for people who are wearing the receiver in the ear style hearing aid. So if you can find your user manual, that would be really handy. On page 11 of the user manual, it's going to go over all the different sizes that are available. There are several different sizes, and then they come in different diameters. So you have, let me see, like 5, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you have 5 different sizes that range from open to bass, to double bass, to power, and then there's a grip tip. And then within that, you have multiple diameters of the dome. So I'll try and show you so that you can kind of get an idea. So this little guy, he's very tiny, but this would be considered the smallest little one that we have available. It's an open dome. What makes a dome open is that it has holes in it. So if you look at your dome and you see that there are holes around the edge, many holes, then you have an open dome. And why we call it open is because there's constant ventilation, or holes that allow for sound and air to get through. So there are several different sizes of domes, 5, that come in this style. If you have a package, then you just have to read what's on the package. You don't have to go and do any measurements or try to figure this out. Just go to your package, and on the top, it's going to tell you exactly the style that you have. So you are, like this one here says open 8 millimeter. So I know that I'm wearing an open dome, and I know the diameter, it's 8 millimeters. If you do not have a package, you have nothing to reference, and you have no idea, then you want to use the chart down here. And you simply are just going to put the dome on one of these circles and keep going until it matches. Domes come in a range of diameters from 5 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, and 12 millimeter. So, and then the reason for that is because everyone's ear canal is different. So I have small ears. The diameter of mine is going to be a lot smaller than, say, a 200-pound man who might have bigger ear canals than me. So that's why we have different diameters, because we have to create a seal in someone's ear canal, but everybody's ear canal is different. Some other styles, we have the single base dome, which comes in we have a base dome that comes in a single vent or a double vent. So this is an example of a base dome. The difference between a base dome, I know, very hard to see, but that's what it looks like. So a base dome it doesn't have all those holes around the side. So it's pretty closed up, but the difference between a double vent and a single vent is there are 2 very tiny holes in the center. If it's a double vent, so 2 vents, double, or only 1 hole if it's a single vent. So they've given you ventilation so that you still have air exchange, but the holes are much tinier. So this helps with sealing up the ear canal and allows for more power to come through that hearing aid. So that's why we would select those. And I checked with our Telesupport team, and they told me that the most popular dome size is a double vent 8 millimeter. So that's what most people are looking for. The second most popular is a open dome 8 millimeter. So I guess there's lots of 8 millimeter diameter canals out there. Then we have a power dome. So this is a pretty cool looking one. It almost looks like 2 domes in one. So it's like 1 dome on top of the other, but it's all one piece. There are no vents in this. And this is for people who need a really good seal, and we don't want any holes in there because we don't want sound to come back out. So we kind of reserve this for people who need a lot of power out of their hearing aids, or they're having problems with the hearing aid whistling. So they're getting feedback, because feedback can happen when sound comes back out of your ear and gets picked up by the microphone again. It's called a feedback loop, and we promote that when we have gaps in your ear canal, so when sound can come out of the ear. And with some of the styles of these domes, it allows not only air exchange, but sound to come back out. So with this, we've closed it right up so that can't happen. And we're creating a really nice seal. So that's why you would use that. So that's domes. 2 ways to figure out which kind you're wearing. Look on the package if you've got a package at home. If you do not have a package at home, dig out your manual and try to find the sizing chart that is on page 11 and size it up with the sizing chart. The other thing that people are calling in about or emailing us about is the receivers. So I'm just going to go over receivers. This guy here, that is called a receiver, and that comes in different lengths and different powers. And this will sometimes have to be changed as well, especially if the hearing aid is not fitting properly. If it feels like it's popping out of your ear, or it's too tight, or it's pulling, then the length of the receiver might be wrong. So we have different lengths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 being the shortest, 4 being the longest, and then we have 3 pairs. We have 60, 85, and 100. The powers are color-coded, and I'm going to show you how to figure out what you're wearing, but I'm not going to lie, it's hard to see. So you need really good lighting, or you need a magnifier, because if you don't have young eyes, you might not be able to see it. So if I'm holding this hearing aid, if you remember from before, the only reason that the end piece is red is because in all things hearing aids, the right is always color-coded red and the left is always color-coded blue. So if it's supposed to be on your right side, it's going to be red. If it's supposed to be on your left side, it'll be blue. So they've colored the end red to tell me, hey, this goes on a right hearing aid, nothing else. I can't put a left on there, it won't work. But just before that, where this clear part is, that's where they've written the length of the receiver and the power. So I'm gonna try and show you this. I don't know. There is a 1. Yeah, you can't see it. There is a 1 there. So right in here, there is a 1. So if I'm holding the hearing aid like this, I should be able to see a number, either 1, 2, 3, or 4. If I turn it around, now I can see a color and another number, but the number I'm letting you know is really hard to see, but the color is easier to see. So if you just know the color, then you can probably figure it out. So if it's a 60, it will say 60 on there, but it will also be green. So the box will be green, which is great. If it's an 85, then it's going to say 85 on there, but the box that's in will be orange. And if it's a 100, then it will say 100, but the box that it's written in will be black. So again, 60 is green, 85 is orange, and 100 is black. So you're looking for a number, which will be either 1 to 4, and then you're looking for the power, which will either be 60, 85, or 100. And that will be color-coded. So again, 60 is green, orange is 85, and black is 100. That's how you figure out what your receiver is. And if you do need to order a different size or you need to order a replacement, that is the information that our Telesupport team is going to ask you and they're going to need. Okay, last topic I want to go over, which continues to be probably the #1 issue that people are having, even though they might not know it, is problems with their hearing aids due to moisture. So I'm going to go over this cup one more time with you because it's really important that you use it. So I'm just going to go over how to use it. If you do not have a drying cup, we have an online store where you can purchase your supplies such as wax guards, domes, receivers, other things, batteries. This is on there. So if you need one of these, you can get one right now. You can order it online. You can also wait just a little bit longer and you can come and pick one up from one of our clinics. This is where you should be storing your hearing aids at night. It removes moisture. How do I know if I have moisture, Jill? Well, I'll tell you how you know. If you take your hearing aid out of your ear and it's wet to touch, then you have a lot of moisture. And you will have to battle moisture probably on an ongoing basis. And at some point, your hearing aid is maybe going to break down and it's going to be because of moisture. Remember, I keep saying every time, a hearing aid is an electronic device that's not meant to be in somewhere warm and moist and wet. It's electronics. So that stuff is very damaging to the microphones, to the speakers, to the wiring inside, to the computer chip that's in there. So you can see how moisture would damage this. And if you remove your hearing aid every day and it's a little bit wet, then it's been sitting in that for a while, and that's constant exposure to that, and that's a lot of wear and tear. So really important that you're going to have to use this every night if that is you. You're going to really have to stay on top of it. So you're going to take your hearing aid out and you're going to use the cloth, that's going to be the first thing you do. You're going to wipe it down. So let me just, so you're going to grab it out of your ear, and you're going to wipe it down. And that's going to remove all surface moisture, oils from your skin, and get rid of that part. But some moisture could have gotten inside the hearing aid, behind the wax guard, inside the inlets where the microphone is. Oh, I seem to have froze. Does anybody see me froze? No, I'm back. Sorry if it froze on you. It froze on me, so hopefully I'm back. So you want to be able to get the moisture that you can't see. That's when you need to use the drying cup. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hearing aids out, wipe them off. You're going to open the battery doors. You're going to remove the batteries, and then you're going to put your hearing aid right on top of the phone. That's what it should look like. So let me show you. I lost the hearing aid. Where did you go? So we'll just use this one. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to open the battery door, flip it upside down, open the battery door, remove it, leave the battery door open, and put it right on top. There you go. Then I'm going to close the lid tightly, and it's going to stay in here all night. And while I'm sleeping, all the moisture is going to evaporate and be absorbed by the drying cup beads that are inside. So these beads are absorbing moisture. They will not last forever though, so you will have to change them. Either you just discard this, what we call puck, because they're in like a puck. You discard it and replace it with a brand new one, or we have versions of this that you can reactivate the beads by putting them in the microwave or oven. So you just have to refer to your user manual instructions, your user instructions, to see what type you have. But this one in particular, I know for sure, is you discard the puck and you replace it with a new one. There's no reactivation. So once these beads turn, they come orange. Let me just show you. So I remove this one, flip it upside down. The puck comes out. So there's the puck. And this is orange. And when it cannot absorb any more moisture, it's all done. It turns a very pale, like peachy, yellowy kind of color. So it loses its color essentially. And then I know, okay, it's time to put a new one in. And with your kit that you do receive when you purchase hearing aids, an extra cup comes in the kit. So you have an extra one on hand. Okay, so for putting it back in, you want the beads facing down. You want to put your foam pad on top. And then you just put the lid on. Okay, so that's moisture. Please use this if you can. Please clean your hearing aids every night, especially if you've removed your hearing aid and you can feel moisture on it. It's wet or it's kind of damp. You definitely want to wipe that off. You want to try to take care of that as much as you possibly can, because that really is the number one issue for repairs on a hearing aid is damage due to moisture. It blocks microphones, it blocks speakers, it affects the internal components, and so it is the number one reason why a hearing aid will break down, which is why I'm covering it again. Okay, so that is it for me in terms of what I wanted to cover. I did want to just throw this out there that I'm looking for suggestions from you guys based on what you want to see me cover. So any suggestions you have for topics that you'd like to see, please post them in the comments below, and maybe we'll get to that and we'll add that in one of our future sessions. So please don't hesitate to let me know what is it exactly that you would like me to talk about. Anything hearing loss or hearing aid related, I'm game. So we are going to do Q&A next, but if there are people that want to leave now, they've got other things to do, I'll just say thank you very much for spending this time with me. Once again, I'm Jillian Price. I'm the Chief Audiologist with Hearing Life, and I appreciate your time. Hope you learned something today. Have a great day, and hopefully we will see you guys soon in person. Stay tuned for some information about clinics opening very shortly. Thanks. Okay, so I have a question from Mark, and Mark says, how do I change TV volume level for my hearing aids? That's a great question, and there is a couple things you can do. So if you just want to change the volume of your hearing aid and you have a volume control on the hearing aid itself, or you have a remote control, or you can change volume by the app. Some lots of hearing aids have an app that you can download and you can control your hearing aid. You can just adjust the volume on the hearing aids themselves. So you're going to either use the wheel if it's a custom hearing aid, or you're going to use the buttons and you can turn your hearing aids up or down. That will adjust the volume, but it will adjust the volume of everything. So your TV will get louder, but so will everything else. So if that's not what you're looking for, then you're probably going to want to invest in a TV box. So this box, if your hearing aid is Bluetooth compatible and you can use wireless accessories, then you're going to purchase a box that gets connected to your TV, and it will allow you to wirelessly hear the TV through your hearing aids, and you can make adjustments that only affect the TV. It's a pretty cool setup and can be life-changing for some people who really struggle with dialogue on the TV, and turning up the volume is just not an option because maybe everyone else in the house doesn't want to hear the TV at an increased volume. But for you to hear it, it's comfortable. So it works really well in households where there's, more than one person, which is most people's houses. So that would be something that you would want to look into. I do believe that all the wireless accessories are available online. So you can go to the online shop and look for it there. And that would be my recommendation if you're looking to just increase the volume of your TV. Okay, so Anna asks, where can I get a hearing aid storage case? Oh, Anna, I wish I could help you. We have probably 50 here in the clinic, but so the easiest way to get an extra storage case for a hearing aid. So here's one here. There's lots. There's usually lots hanging around, but this would be just your generic storage case for a hearing aid. Probably, again, you could probably get one from a clinic, and that will be very shortly. So I would say, hang on. You can get a storage case at one of our clinics. I don't believe we have storage cases to order online, but all of our clinics will have extra storage cases for you, so you could just get one at one of our clinics. However, if you do have one of these guys, you can just store it in here all the time. Okay. There is a question about multiple TV adapters, but I'm not going to answer it on Facebook Live. We'll have somebody answer that question specifically because if it's about your specific setup and how you have things set up in your home, we can just answer that one-on-one. So we'll have somebody answer that one for you. Okay, so we have someone who says, I have mini fit domes. Last night I had a earache. Could the hearing aid be going in too deep? I've only had these a few weeks. I think last week somebody asked something really similar. And my answer then, and will still be, is yes, it is possible that the hearing aid is not fitting properly in the ear canal and it's causing discomfort. So someone would have to look at that for you and see if it's the length of the receiver, the length of this guy. Is it too long? Or is it the dome that fits on the end? Is that just not fitting as snugly or as comfort? It needs to be comfortable. So maybe that's the problem. So it could be one of two things. If you have some different size domes at home, I would play around, try different size domes and see what's most comfortable. If you don't, then I would tell you to come and visit one of our clinics as soon as they open and have somebody look at that for you. And we should be able to determine pretty quickly what the problem is. So Christy asked, when do you know how to replace the beads? I went over that, but I'll just say it one more time. When they change color. So every type of drying device is a little bit different. So read the instructions. It should say on there if they go from orange to peach, or if they go from blue to green, or they'll change color. That's how you know. Linda says, how do I remove the molded earpiece for cleaning? And how do I replace the inner wax filter? Okay, so I can definitely show you this part. So she's asking, how do I remove this from this? And that's a great question, because you do have to remove it if you want to clean this, because remember, I had mentioned that this can be actually cleaned with soap and warm water because there's no electronics in it. So this is how you do it. Put one hand on the top of the hearing aid where the clear hook is. Take your other hand and begin to twist the tubing while pulling it away from the aid. So it's kind of like that. So it's like twist while pulling it apart. So I'll do that again. So I take one hand, the other hand, I twist while pulling it apart. That's how you get the two apart. Now, if this tubing has hardened over time, which does happen, just like how I was saying the domes get brittle, so does the tubing. So if it's really tight and sort of seems like it's fused together, you're probably going to have to pull really darn hard. So you're going to have to really give it a good pull, because it's going to be on there pretty good. To put it back on, it's kind of just the same thing in reverse. So you're twisting, but instead of pulling apart, you're pushing together, and you're just going to twist it back up, and it should stay. So that's how you get them apart. Okay. So Barb asks, is there a video for how to change the mini fit grip tip domes? We find them extremely hard to replace and do not know how to put them on, so they do not hurt the ear. It takes several tries removing and replacing until they are comfortable. Okay, so what I would say is to go to the website that I showed you and type that in exactly. How do I change my mini fit grip tip domes? Put it in exactly how, like with as much detail as possible, and see what options pop up. I know for a fact that changing domes is on there, but the mini grip tip domes, you're being very specific there, and so you need to see the video of that particular style being changed. I would type it in exactly like that and see what pops up. And I would assume that you will find what you're looking for if you're just very specific. Okay, that's it for the questions. So once again, I'll just go over how you can get in touch with us until our clinics become, before our doors are open, which is going to be very soon. So stay tuned for that, a list of clinics. But the first thing you can do is go to the website, and that link has been shared for the website, and type in exactly what you're looking for. If that does not produce a solution for you, then email us, and we will definitely respond to your email with a solution or some suggestions for you. If that doesn't solve the problem, then you can call us, and you will be able to speak to somebody from our Telesupport team that will try to answer your questions. And lastly, if you just need to see somebody and feel like you're having a conversation, like a real conversation with somebody, you can request a live video session. So it would kind of be like talking like we are right now. And I showed you how to do that. You enter in your information, and you'll get an email confirmation after you've selected a date and time of when you want that session to happen. And somebody will come on and be there live for you to troubleshoot with you on the spot. So that is everything for this week. we're all done. And again, if you have any suggestions for topics that you would like me to cover next time, then please leave them below. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.